go. Okay, I am Dory with Prairie Scrubs, and I'm on YouTube and Facebook. I also have a VIP group, and if you're not in that VIP group, put hashtag VIP, and I'll get you the link for that on Facebook. Um, or if you'd like to know about YouTube, put YT, and I will get that link to you. So just, go in both places and try to craft. So today is Thrifty Thursday, and when you come on in, make sure you say hello. And also, if you are watching this first part, since there's nobody there, go ahead and put hashtag replay so I know you're there. But I started this last week. I painted the whole thing with black chalk paste, and I was kind of seeing a little bit of green places that it was green. And green doesn't go with my decor, so I thought I'd do this in black and then go ahead and put some houndstooth on it. And it's a smaller piece of houndstooth transfer, but I really wanted to put it on here. And I think I either it reactivated the black chalk paint on me and kind of made a mess of things. So it's starting to peel off. It's getting worse and worse. I was able to fix it pretty much up here. So we're gonna finish. This is part 2 of doing my thrifty find. I got this for $1 at a thrift sale. Probably because they also changed their colors, right? So we're gonna figure out how to get this to line up. I think that was the hardest part last time, was getting it up. The green part goes on the black, and so white or dune is the color that I used. Dune is what shows through. So the trick is to get it matched up so that you don't see the black. But that's the trick for sure. I'm just gonna move this. Oh no, it's supposed to be repeatable, but I was struggling even last time trying to get it lined up. I'd love to find things that are thrift sale or thrift store finds and change them up a little bit. So when I saw this metal sign, it probably was like a Hobby Lobby something or other. I was like, that is perfect. We are going to try to fix. We're going to try to do that. So I'm going to start on this part where I haven't gotten any houndstooth yet and do that part. You want to get it down. Thankfully, this is a reuse. Oops, I just went over the edge with lots of extra. Reusable transfers. You can reuse them about, they say up to 12 times, depending on how well you take care of it. And let's see that edge there. Pick up some of my extra along the edge. This dune is looking a lot better today. I think I added water right before I closed it the last time. And I think that is definitely helping out here in our circumstance. So I'm just going to do this whole. There was a lot of that green down here, and then I'll try to match it up. Hopefully, I don't know if I'm close or not. I might have to go back and, I don't know, do some touch-up or do some sanding maybe to get it to look right. I kind of like the places where it's peeled off. It's kind of got a cool look to it. So lots of excitement going on around here. Lydia is running for fair royalties. Last night we had the first barbecue. 2 weeks they have 2 weeks they have their luncheon where they have to do their interviews before the luncheon with the judges, and then they do a luncheon, although it's at 6 o'clock at night this year. It's kind of funny. Oh shoot, so I had one little patch right here that came off. I'm just going to set this aside, and then we'll start working on patching some of the other ones. But I want to get this dry so that it has a better chance of drying. Hopefully you can hear me. Love for someone to come in. supposed to be on Facebook like a sound canceling and enhancing of your voice, and I had it set to that, but I'm not sure if it's working with the air. So hopefully this is not all for naught. I'm just patting this because there was a little bit of smearage here. That's an official word, smearage. I don't know if it was smearage or we just have it on the wrong place, but sometimes if you just kind of pat it with a wet cloth, it'll kind of pick up some of those things in the recesses, and it certainly is actually. It kind of cleans it up. Also, it's pretty dark right here, so I'm gonna patch it up. Shut that air off, and hopefully if someone comes in, it's pretty loud. It doesn't even sound like it's working. There it is. That's high. That's fans. You want to get it off. It is cooler right now. Okay, sorry about that. It's the joys of being in a camper, and it is a tin can right now. It's pretty hot outside. I think it's in the 90s. At least the truck was saying 90 earlier. We're sitting in line to get some coffee, and it was hot. Okay, we have this. Just don't want to go over it, but I do want to use the better part of it on this part. So let's see. I'm going to have to go all the way up to that third line there. I don't know. I think this is supposed to be repeatable, but I'm really struggling to get them lined up. So maybe use one of our bigger patterns. We have, oops, that's not even far enough over. I got it nice on there and it's not far enough. We have some really great like mini buffalo check. There's plaids. There's a new plaid that I really, really love. You can make the plaid different colors by turning the transfer different way. I need to get that. The funny thing is, the part that's coming off that is actually the part that's pulling off the black paint is the white parts. So it must be that this chalk paste actually reactivates the acrylic. It's supposed to be acrylic. So I thought by just giving it a rest, letting it dry out here in the camper for a hot minute, that it might fix it. You know, like let it dry and harden, kind of get a harder. Sometimes with chalk paints, especially if you wet it. Hello, Sherry. I am fixing my Thrifty Thursday project that I started last week. I started this out, and when I was putting on the pattern, it was pulling off the paint, the black paint. And I want the black paint to be there, so I'm going to go nice and slow. I knew I had to do this in several swipes just because, I'll show you that. Because my pattern isn't as big as the S. It's a metal S. Oops, I guess I have it upside down. There it is. It's a metal S. And it was green. I really liked it, but I don't have green in my house. So I wanted to put I painted it all black and then put a pattern on it. Well, when I started putting the pattern on, it started coming off. So that's my story. And this area looks a little thick, so I'm just going to dab at it. Try not to get the green paint up. Like I said, I think because it had not had time set. Sometimes paints just need like 24 hours to really set. I just want to lighten this up a little bit here because it has some overlap and it's just darker. We want the whole thing to kind of look uniform. Uniform in a country style. Thank you. I got this for $1. at a thrift sale, and it was green, and I thought, well, I can change that. So that's kind of what started this whole process, was I can start that. I can do that. See, I'm going to try to get this. I had another patch up here. I fixed most of it, but this little section here. The hard thing is there's a lot of parts to this houndstooth. It's a little difficult to line it up. Not going to lie. And I came on late. I was going to say, Sherry, I think you're usually on live at 4 o'clock too. 4 o'clock my time. I'm on, oops. I often see you going on live at the same time. Right. Oh, yeah, I do think that some of the mistakes are just going to be what they are, and I'm fine with that. But I want to try to cover as much of this green. I don't want it to look weird. Trying to make it look natural. Oh boy. It's just like a smidgen off will totally change the way it looks. Oy, oy. This is harder than you think it's going to be. Like I said, I would totally use a bigger, in my next life, on my next metal letter, I'm going to use a bigger pattern. This is what I had out. It's a brand new pattern that just came out in the fall release, and I thought, I'm going to just try it. Maybe a big mistake. I don't know. It might have gone a lot smoother if I hadn't had to patch it together. So I don't know. That looks kind of dark now, doesn't it? Yikes. I may be going worse here. Oh, well, very good. See, and I'm live Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So Thursdays. So Monday, yeah, so Mondays I probably see you, is what it is. And I always think, oh, I shouldn't go live at the same time. But, there's plenty of room for all of us, and hopefully people go back and watch the replay, right? I'm just going to pat this and try to lighten it up a little so it's not so dark. And you can see this one is a little better. And I'm going to leave this, can you see that where it's kind of blank in some places? And I'm going to lighten those dark spots out with a little bit of maybe sanding. Let's see. I don't want to go too much down to the green. Although the green, I suppose, would make it look sort of rustic, right? Rustic. Maybe this isn't as hard of a fix as I thought. See, stepping away for a week helped me out. I was kind of mad at it last week. Oh, I know. And so many great things to see, for sure. You can't schedule around everyone. But I do see you sometimes as I'm going on or whatever. The notifications pop up, so I often go back and watch it too. Just get the rough edge. I always like to do edges just to make them look a little more rustic. I'm kind of a farmhouse girl. I tend to be kind of neutrals, but I'm doing pops of blue. I actually thought about doing eggshell blue on this instead of the dune, but I'm not sad about this. I kind of wanted to keep it somewhat neutral. My son is getting married in September, and if they wanted to use this big X, it's a little more neutral this way instead of putting the blue, especially since I know their colors are not this. I don't know how dry that is. I'm going to stay away for a little bit. Just kind of give it, actually kind of makes it a little more uniform when you get it rubbed down. Can you see that? I think it doesn't look too bad. I kind of like it. The two spots that stand out to me as being unusual is right here and right here. So that's what I'm gonna work on a little bit. Try to get some of that sawdust off. Chalk dust. So busy times. We're running for royalty. Oops, that one smeared it a little bit. That one's a little more wet. Pat, pat, pat. Thank you. I was trying to figure out earlier because I had my air conditioner going, but it's right above the phone. So I know it's kind of loud. I didn't know if you could hear me or not. So I was kind of waiting for somebody to come in, tell me if they could hear me. But now I got it off. So it says on Facebook that they've gotten like new enhancers. So I keep thinking maybe I should, test it out with my air conditioner. Because it is like being in a tin can when you're in an Airstream. Is what it is. I am getting warm for sure. It's in the 90s here in Idaho. Right now, no. I think since you got on, Sherry, it's not been on. So I had it on before, but nobody was here telling me how I was doing. And I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it looks good the way it is? It isn't completely dry because I've been patting water on it. The thing with chalk paste and chalk paints is that water does reactivate it. So you have to be kind of careful. But with our chalk paste, you could totally I have a mailbox painted. Thanks. I kind of like it too. It's growing on me. I was thinking about maybe a little brown around the edges to make it look a little more antique-y. That might. Instead of trying to sand it off, a little bit of brown. Do the layers. Forgot what I was saying now. So important. I had to start saying it. I always keep my ones that are almost out and pretty dry. See that? It's pretty dry. And then I just spritz water in there and use my paintbrush, and I've got something to use as an antique type of coating. So we'll see how this goes. That was kind of wet. Just kind of give it some dark angles, I think. Especially here. Especially in my lighter places here. It's nice too. I use it like a stain sometimes. This paste, you can just water it down. It's water soluble, and then you can, just like you would use, like sometimes I do use distressing oxide or whatever, but I think this works just as well, and it's non-toxic too. So, oops, there's a puddle. Kind of darkens up that brighter spot. So I'm liberally using it in those spots that didn't work out so great. See, sometimes having a mistake just is totally a good thing. You just never know. Yeah, so sometimes when things don't turn out the way you think, it's good to just walk away. And that's really what I did. I think that's what I was talking about before. Oh my goodness. So I did this like a reset, kind of like a cleanse reset thing, and it made me a little brain foggy. So, oh my goodness, I've forgotten. And not on, like, I don't usually forget things. I'm not usually that bad about forgetting things. And I forgot like work things that make me money. So I have a cleaning business and I forgot a cleaning job. I feel so bad. And by the time she got a hold of me, she'd already done the cleaning. So I didn't get the cleaning job. I missed a cleaning job. And then I forgot to drop off a sign I had sold for somebody, which was also pay, right? Happy accidents. Yeah. And sometimes, like it's so funny when I talk to people, when I ask people, like, are they a crafter? The ones that say, absolutely not. I hate crafting. They're the perfectionists and they can't accept a few, hitches. They want everything to go perfectly. And actually, if they can just accept that not everything is absolutely perfect, that, it's okay. And it's okay to have some, like you said, happy accidents. Those are sometimes my best projects, right? And too, if you get upset, like my daughter was working on her shirt. We couldn't get the sewing machine to go, and I knew it was like a threading issue, and I couldn't get it. I haven't used this sewing machine. I bought it last year for right before fair. The girls used it for fair. We haven't really been using it ever since. And I haven't used it hardly at all because the girls are old enough they can do their own sewing. So I don't need to like thread it, or I just haven't had to. And I generally do more crafting than sewing. So anyway, I'm just wiping off because I can kind of see shadows of that brown a little bit around the outside edge. And I want it to look a little crisper. I may have to go back around with some black just to kind of, I don't know. It's kind of it's a rough surface with that chalk paste, so it's picking up my cloth here. I may be better off. Speaking of cloths, where in the world? So anyway, she's sewing a Western shirt, and we somehow got it strung the wrong way, I think. Or, the computer was off. Hey, Amber. And I couldn't get it to go back again to sew right. It was catching on one side. It was sewing loosely. So we were trying to fix it. I couldn't get it. And I was just like, I am losing patience with this. I cannot do it. I said, so I'm not going to be able to fix this very fast, or, and my daughter has a friend over. So she was not willing to help, the older one that's running for royalty. And I'm like, look, there are going to be no more friends over if you're not going to help us with this machine. And my 12-year-old Bethany, she piped in, she goes, yeah, perfect is overrated, and nothing beautiful is ever perfect, right? The most beautiful things in the world are not perfect. But anyway, and Bethany toured it in for me. She said, well, it is your machine, Mom. And I'm like, are you trying to make me mad? Because I'm not going to help you. I need to stop. I went down to the green. Dang it. I just went down to green, and I don't like it. That was dumb. And the spot I did it is actually in the black spot, not the white spot. So anyway, I was like, are you trying to make me mad? That's what I told Bethany. I'm like, please don't make me mad right now when I'm trying to fix the machine. So anyway, I finally ended up saying to Lydia in front of her friend, which I know she was not happy with me about. But the truth is that just because your friend is over doesn't mean you can't help out a little bit. And I was like, if you could please help her, you have two choices. You can either just help us with this machine or not have any more friends for the rest of the summer over. She chose help. I'm so glad she did. Okay, that looks better. That was a close one. Don't go overboard with your sanding. That's the moral of the story. All right, I'm going to stop while I'm ahead. You get the picture. You can see the houndstooth, and yet it's a little bit more, like darker around the edges. I'm just trying to give it the effect of, this looks too contrived right there. Just like a little bit of oldishness and kind of cover up the fact that a couple of these places were brighter than others for the brown part or for the white part. So I just was trying to take off the edges. Thank you, Amber. I see ya. This will bother me. I am somewhat of a perfectionist, so I totally get it when people say they hate crafting because it never turns out. I totally get that because sometimes you can get impatient with a project. Like I was getting impatient with the sewing machine, and this one actually kind of made me mad last week. I was like, I can't believe this isn't working out. It's supposed to be so beautiful. So I think it's good though. It's going to be on my mantle. It's just going to be, not alone. That's for sure. Just getting my brush wet here and kind of blending a little bit. It does change a little, like as it dries. So anyway, I saw somebody. Thank you. I went to drop off somebody after 4-H today and happened to notice somebody's mailbox was painted with black, like the botanical butterflies on it. And I'm like, oh, I need to do that to my mailbox. So I don't know. One of these days I've been wanting to do our mailbox because the lady before us, she had I don't know, her house. I think the house is painted on it. It's not my style. It's got little flowers. It's kind of cute. I feel bad wanting to remove it because she definitely worked on it. I'm changing my mind about these little black areas. I want them covered. I'm being a perfectionist right now. Sort of. Planned imperfections. That's what I prefer. I like to know what the plan is. If I plan for it to be kind of worn off in an area, that's okay. If I don't plan for it, I don't like it. Oofta. It is hot today, isn't it? How are you feeling, Amber? Hope you're feeling better. Oh, I like that a lot better. That's better. Okay. I'm going to stop while I'm ahead for real this time. Isn't that cute? I think it's cute. You can see it down there. Kind of big. That is my S for my mantle. The sides are all black. And I actually think it would be neutral enough to use for a wedding. They could put some flowers on it or something, or just leave it as it is, depending on what their plan is. Oh my goodness. Oop. Sorry. How's the sound now? Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. Not much better. Oh, shoot. Thought you were saying my S was not much better. Oh, well. It's been a long couple of days with this royalty. Came out in the papers today, and one of the local papers put Lydia Mayer on her name and put me as the only parent and not my husband. So he came home all mad, and actually, thank you, Sherry. I appreciate it. As we looked at her application, she actually only put me for her parents, so they wouldn't know. But still, it just makes me look like a single parent. And he was upset about that. But and there was a lot of typos in her description. It didn't seem like they were in anybody else's, so that was kind of a struggle. I wish they would have just called if they had questions. But typos, not like what we wrote. Just like, it just doesn't read very well. Let's just say that. So anyway, the papers came out today. So that was kind of fun and exciting and nerve-wracking to have it, not everybody's names correct. So anyway, I thank you all for coming. And that was last night. Yes, we had the barbecue last night. And I've been doing a reset on basically a liquid fast for 3 days. And yesterday was the third day, and I did it all day long. Then I got to the barbecue last night, and I couldn't not take food. Like all moms of the girls, the royalty from this past year made all the food, and I didn't want to be rude and not take any. So I took some, and then I gained a pound. So that's kind of frustrating. But I am down to almost 2.5 pounds, and I lost, a couple of inches, 3.5 inches total. So yes, we did the barbecue last night. So that was it's kind of nerve-wracking when you do all these social events. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Make sure you let me know if you watch it back on the replay, and you have a very blessed evening. Get well, Amber. And because we're neighbors. We want to go out and play. And keep on crafting, right? Keep on crafting.